So now I'm going to hand over to Charlotte Brown, Joint Managing Director for Resilient Organisations. Over to you, Charlotte.
Kia ora, Belinda. Thanks very much. Kia ora koutou. I'm speaking on behalf of a team. This project is it's being led by Liam Witherspoon at the University of Auckland, but we've also got a host of researchers and students across New Zealand, a lot of them who are working on the Resilience to Nature's Challenges and Quake Core, who are helping to support this project. So our project is around supporting critical infrastructure recovery. There's effectively two key components to this project. The first is a review of regional recovery processes following similar large-scale events internationally. So what we really want to do is understand, when you're undertaking a large-scale critical infrastructure recovery process, what's important, what are the do's and don'ts of these kind of undertakings. And the second element is a review of decision-making processes and best practice principles for resilient infrastructure investment decision-making. So when you've got a lot of things that need to be repaired, what is it that you should be prioritising and how should you be making those decisions in order to build back in a resilient way? So the second element to this project is the development of a spatio-temporal database of critical infrastructure performance. So we're looking across all sorts of critical infrastructure networks and services. We're taking the broad definition of critical infrastructure, which includes the kind of network-based infrastructure like water, electricity, road, rail, but we're also including things like fast-moving consumer goods, financial services, etc. And what we want to understand there is the extent of damage across all those networks so that we can overlay them and get a comprehensive picture across all the different types of infrastructure, and also understand the recovery of those services over time so that we can understand the impact on the communities of loss of those services. So we've got about 4 outcomes that we're aiming to achieve for this, and the first 2 are imminent because we realize that people are actively in the process of managing these recovery processes and as I think Tom was saying earlier, making these decisions. So the first is a key lessons in learning to support recovery decision processes. So what we're developing there is effectively a policy brief, or just a really short document with some high level principles that we've gained from across the literature. This includes things like governance of recovery programs, operational management, recovery sequencing and resourcing, community engagement, information needs and decision making. So we're hoping these are going to give some really high level checkpoints to gauge where current programs are and where they could go to. The second element there is best practice principles for evaluating infrastructure investment decisions. So again, this is imminent within the next week or 2. This is around what is it that we need to be inputting to make effective decisions. So it covers things like evaluating risks and resilience, so from understanding the hazards to the exposure of infrastructure and the criticality of those infrastructure networks to the community. And there is a bit of overlap here with the work that Ryan Pollock was talking about with Riskscape as well. Also included in that is the likes of including an accounting for uncertainty and future changes. The third element there is the spatio-temporal representation of infrastructure performance. So at this stage, we have really been focusing on just gathering data, but we have started to do a little bit of analysis. We've been using some sit reps, both national, regional and local sit reps, to kind of understand some of the damage information to complement or triangulate the information that we get from the network providers themselves, and to help us understand what those impacts were over time. We've also been doing, Cecile Lermit at University of Waikato has been doing a survey of fast-moving consumer goods providers as well. And so that once we have all that, we'll be collating it all and to give a comprehensive oversight of and evidence-based informed future recovery decision making. So as I mentioned, the lessons learned and best practice report is imminent, so the next couple of weeks. That's going to be supported by a longer sort of evidence-based report that provides all the references as such. The raw infrastructure data set should be in place this month or early next, and then progressively through the end of the year we'll be processing that data set and releasing information and analysis as we can. And the end of year we'll have a report. So key contacts there are myself and Liam Witherspoon. So thanks very much.